trash. Just another beam in the trash.
It's Monday night, and you know what that means?
That'll never catch on. But tonight, I think there's going to be a lot said, especially by Daryl. So I'll say hello to everyone in the comments in a minute. But first, I will bring everyone on first. We have got the Trek and Taylor, James and Sarah. How you doing?
Hello. Thanks. All good.
Next, we've got Joe from Thruwave. How's it going, Joe?
Hello. Hey, guys. Good to see you.
Yeah. And next, here's a man of mystery. It's David Blythe. How you doing, David?
Hello, I'm good, thanks.
What's that fun?
Well,
It's the fact that you called him a man of
Oh, he
mystery.
is a bit mysterious, isn't he? It's cool. Could be the next James Bond.
Like, there was like a
And last but no means least, mysterious in other ways, is Daryl Dazza Morgan. How you doing, Daryl?
Yeah, patch.
Right.
Evening, guys. How are you going? I'm just about to share the live, so I do apologise if I'm a bit quiet on Twitter.
Okay.
You're a bit quiet. I was going to get you involved right now.
Oh no.
Yeah, well, carry on.
Well, I'll ask James and Sarah then. Let's. Have you been on Bubbleworks? I was getting ready to get that. This was Daryl's thing about the water ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll carry on. I'm just sharing the live. That's all.
I can actually say yes.
Yes,
Yes.
we have.
Many years ago, but yes. And more recently, as in last year or this year? Last year.
Yeah, as the Gruffalo.
Now I've changed to the Gruffalo, but yes, we've been on Bubbleworks and, unsurprisingly, Toyland Tours.
So let's talk about Bubbleworks first. What? I don't really know what I was getting ready to ask Daryl stuff, but let's ask James first. James, what? We're talking about the Bubbleworks, not the Gruffalo side, even though it's the same ride. But
Yeah, they're very similar. So I watched a POV on Bubbleworks today just to remind me, and it's incredible, obviously, just how similar there are. I mean, for me, the end part where the track goes kind of around in a loop or so and through the fountains, that was the best part of Bubbleworks for me. But obviously, you've also got the little dip as well.
I'm going to talk about that later on. Yeah.
Vehicles.
Yes, I do like the
I
ride.
like the ride vehicles.
Yeah.
I think as ride vehicles go, that's quite novelty because
Yes.
they turn, don't they? And it looks like a plug.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I like that. That's probably the best.
Yeah.
What did you think of the station layout?
The station layout where
Because you go over a bridge, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose it's kind of, to me, I've never really thought about it, to be honest. My case kind of all right, go to the bridge.
It's a bit different to Toyland Tours, where you just go, update as well for anyone who's not seen our vlog. They've stopped, well, at least for the moment, they've stopped doing the boat ride for dungeons, but they didn't tell us that before we paid for it, which is a bit,
Oh, that's really
it's a bit
bad.
cheeky.
We went through
You go-
an alternative
yeah,
route,
you just
but you'll have
go-
to watch.
We can't see inside.
No, but you have to watch our vlog.
That's the
Which
hook.
is scary. Don't give too much away. And the magic.
And my little ding dong.
Have you got any other thoughts on Bubbleworks, Sarah, before...
It's a nice dark ride, and I think the two rides are very similar.
I think this is quite hard to decide which one, because they're both as good as the other.
I do prefer Bubbleworks ride vehicle.
Yeah.
I do prefer that.
I wasn't sure, because I was trying to think of differences of these, because the boats offer a different experience.
Yes.
With Toyland Tours, you're set to see what's in front and to the side of you, whereas Bubbleworks, depending what the spin's like and what the speed's like, you might miss.
Yeah, and where you're sitting in the boat, you're going to get a different. Like I would get a different view than James would get. So that adds some kind of re-rideability as well.
Yeah.
So let's move on to Joe. Have you ridden Bubbleworks in your time?
Yeah, my God, Bubbleworks for me when I was growing up was like my favorite ride. Before I started going on big rides at Chessington, you know, Dragon Falls and Dragon's Fury. It's Dragon Falls. Whatever Tiger Rock is now. I think it was called Dragon Falls.
Yeah, it was Dragon Falls.
Dragon Falls,
this ride was literally like the ride. I used to have dreams about it because I loved it so much as a kid. Like, and I used to beg my parents.
I'm sorry, Joe. Sorry for interrupting you.
God, that's all right.
You said you used to have dreams, and these are Wet rides. So much fun.
It's a family show.
Oh my god!
Sorry.
Very good.
It just.
You couldn't help yourself. No, but this, yeah, like it was just like for me as a kid, the ride that I used to think Chessington is Bubbleworks, and I used to love it. I used to love all the smells on it. I used to love the sound, the crazy soundtrack. It's funny you mentioned the station because I'd completely forgotten about it. But the little bit where you go over where people are coming.
It's a bit different than just getting on.
Yeah, I love this ride so much. Like, I haven't done the Gruffalo yet, so I haven't seen the re-theme.
No, I've not done the Gruffalo either.
Yeah, but James is completely right. The best part of the ride is when you go round the. They've got the fountains jumping and the strobe lights that used to come on every now and then. Yeah, I just love it. It's
when I first rode that, I was already an adult. Just to put in perspective, but even I didn't know that room was there, and I was quite like surprised, like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's great. They should put some rave music in there.
No, I didn't. It's just a juncture. David, what are your opinions on Bubbleworks?
Well, I've not done the original, but I've done the Gruffalo and I've watched the POVs, and I've heard quite a lot about it. I remember there was quite a big uproar when it closed and was replaced by Bubbleworks, which makes me think it was a really good ride. And I think the water effects, I saw that on the POV, and they look really good. The station, I know when you go on Bubbleworks, you have to go over that bridge onto it. So that's quite unique, I think, about it as well. And the music, I know, was quite a big thing. So I get the impression it was quite a popular ride, and I think it is missed quite a lot, to be honest.
So just reading Daniel's comment there. Fun fact: one of my last rides on Bubbleworks was with me.
He tried to spell my name.
with you and me. Yeah, I could say that's really sweet.
Right, the main event.
Oh.
Daryl, come on, tell us about Bubbleworks. You're the water ride man.
Wow, what can I say? I remember riding it probably. Must have been 8 or probably more than that times. Me and the family used to go out on day trips a lot of the time when I was younger, and the amount of rides we had on that, honestly, it was just fantastic. I can picture it now. There's a bit where as you're going through sort of underneath a bridge or something like that, halfway through, you've got the professor on a bike sort of thing, and he blows bubbles out of his mouth and stuff, and there was lots of theming, and some of the theming would blow out bubbles or blow out smoke effects or have light effects and things like that. Just what James and Sarah are saying, really depends where you sit on the boat and where it goes round. So you might get one effect hit you on one side, but then when you go on it again, you might get on another. So every ride is different when you went on Bubbleworks, really.
I also felt it's a bit like the Rapids in a way, but it seemed more.
Oh, where it kept turning.
No, when the photo's coming up and you're just trying to turn with the boat.
Yeah.
Like adjust.
You're trying to turn around. Yeah, I get exactly what you mean. But one of the things that most people know about is the fountains, really. And what I used to do is, and I know I'm not supposed to say this, but
I know what you're about to say, Daryl, because I used to do it as well. I know exactly what it is.
We used to stand up on the boat and then try and get the so the boat would be tilting to one side.
Yeah.
What we do is we try and get the hoses, because you could easily get the fountain hoses. They're quite long.
Hang on, what? I was still you going to put your hand in the water. You're grabbing the hoses.
Yeah, you can actually grab the hose. They've obviously shortened the hose now, but when it was
just for like people at home, we're not advising you to do this.
Yeah, we're not advising it now. No, but what we used to do, we used to stand on the boat. The boat would be tipping to one side, and then we'd get the hose, and we'd wet all the family and wet the other boat riders as well.
Did you get chucked out after that? Or?
No, because there was no cameras. There was no cameras installed. No cameras installed.
Can I ask?
I thought you were just going to say you just put your hand up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I used to do.
No, when the water was coming out, you could see the hose. So we used to stand and just literally hose everybody around the boat and the following riders as well.
Was this the same day there was also a fire at the park? Did you just totally try and demolish the park?
Well, if there's a fire, there's a bit of water there. Just put the fire out.
Did you ever almost submerge the boat? Because if everyone sat in the front when it ran down the drop, it was leaning so far forward, the water almost went in.
Yeah, yeah. Our boat was near enough, very full. It was like a swimming pool sometimes.
I remember when we went on, we had some friends that just wanted to flick the water from that bit where it had all the fountains going.
I thought that's what Daryl was going to do.
Yeah,
but he's just totally taken those.
Like, no.
I reckon you're on some sort of Merlin Most Wanted list, Daryl.
Has anyone got anything?
Well, back then it was 2 swords.
Of course.
Back then it was 2 swords.
I haven't got photos of it, but obviously it wasn't very good when they changed the logo to Imperial.
I with the duck and everything, and the little.
Oh yeah, Imperial
They
leather.
changed it to Imperial leather for a bit, didn't they? And the logo looked really bad.
I'm not too sure if that was Imperial leather though. That picture. I'm just trying to think.
Not this
now
picture. I haven't got the picture of it, but they did sponsor it.
Oh, the elephant one was.
But has anyone got anything bad to say about it? I feel like it's got to be a bit even.
I don't know that it's bad, but can somebody fill me in, because I can't remember, about the theming outside? Like, what was I know it was down by Vampire, but how was it themed outside?
It was just painted.
Wasn't it?
Really.
Yeah,
It's a painted wall. That's all it was. I think it was a pink wall. I think it was with brick effects or something like that. It was nothing fancy anyway. It was only as you go into the main queue line, then when you had all the pictures and stuff. That's
when they used to have the TVs as well, playing the Frosties advert on repeat.
I think when we
it didn't really fit in like or anything
Oh
like
no,
that.
it was very sort of put together. I mean, Vampire being next to it, I always thought as a kid was weird.
Yeah.
Like you probably wouldn't know what the ride was if you hadn't been to Chessington and you were queuing for it.
Was it like a kind of like Tudor building where it was some of the
They
black...
made it look a bit Transylvania.
where it was like a bit of like black on the outside, where the beams
like a brick effect, like a castle or something. Yeah.
No, not bricks, but it was just like wherever the top of the roof would be, they'd just get like these wooden pieces that are painted black, and then the rest of it I remember was like white or
It wasn't
green.
very well. It wasn't. I wouldn't say it was.
It just looked like a plain building.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's going to be a bad point for me then. That's a con for that particular round. That's one con. It's not well themed within its situ.
I do think just looking at the pictures, as much as I love it, it does look a bit, I don't know, maybe a bit cheap. I mean, it's not the best theme.
These are lit pictures though. This is from a friend of ours, Richard Smiley Jones. This was a
thank
behind
you-
the scenes
thank you for
tour.
these.
He went round walking on the
Yeah,
actual
we
set.
appreciate them.
Yeah, I suppose maybe with the lights on and everything, it was different. But I used to love that little duck, like Helter Skelter. That was my favorite part of the ride.
Isn't it a little bit? I remember the roller coaster as well.
The roller coaster, yeah, the little theme park bit, it was great. But yeah, I guess maybe a con, you could say maybe it was a bit dated, and it was right that it went. I would have preferred if they'd just redone it, revamped it, and cleaned it up a bit rather than stuck the Gruffalo in there. But maybe that's a con, yeah, that it just got a bit dated in the end.
David, have you got anything to criticise before we move on, Toyland?
No, I kind of see why it sort of went. Look, I do agree it probably was getting a bit dated and looks a bit dated. Whether the Gruffalo is the right replacement is another matter. I think what Joe said, it might have been better with a refurb and not having an IP. Yeah.
Anyone on the chat been on the Gruffalo ride as well? I know it's is it totally different, like different sort of layout as well, possibly.
Same layout, but
Honestly,
yeah.
Just a little fact about Donna from Sussex. If you show him a picture of any castle in the world, he can tell you what country it's in.
That's amazing. That is a skill.
Daryl, you're up first now because you avoided it before. Toyland Tours.
Well, no, I was just laughing at that picture because, as I was just saying, the one with that one. Yeah, honestly. It was literally just after the drop.
Tell us about the crimes you've committed.
After the drop, you see the hose and you just grab
because
it.
This ride still exists, Daryl, so it's not like you're saying, oh...
Yeah, but the hoses are much shorter now. You can't grab the hose anymore.
Don't talk about it
John
now.
from Sussex said nasty man.
Anyway, Toyland Tours. Let's get on with that.
So what
Well, with this one, I actually enjoyed it.
Did you not enjoy the other one?
I did, yeah. I enjoyed Bubbleworks, don't get me wrong. But this I actually more enjoyed because it was more themed, and also as well, I just like the whole sort of storyline that actually matched the theme in. It was basically a little version of Alton Towers at the time. Really, that's what Toyland Tours was
I
all
just want to bring
about.
up
But
something
in the
Annette
toy
said
version,
earlier about the soundtrack. Would you say that plays a big part for you, Daryl?
yeah, it does. It certainly does. Yeah, and I miss it. I wish they could bring it back. Really, get rid of the dungeon and bring it back. It'd be a fantastic sort of new investment, sort of bringing a much more modern version of Toyland Tours, really, rather than a cheap dungeon. Really, that's just sitting there doing nothing. Really, and it is such a heavily themed and well themed actually. Again, very similar to Bubbleworks. We got the moving parts, the water effects, the fog effects, and all that kind of thing. No fountains though, so I couldn't grab a hose and actually water everybody. But we used to rock the boat sometimes.
Don't go into this again.
Oh, Daryl's
So,
confessions.
yeah, we used to rock the boat sometimes, and to the point where, as you're rocking the boat, a lot of the water would sink into the boat, and one of the boats nearly sunk once when we was in it. So, but that was back in the day. But no, on top of that though, it was such a great ride. I do miss it actually. And what made me with the ride was the theming. It was so fantastic. And I wish, hopefully, when if it does get rethemed, brings a modern Toyland Tours.
See, I've not actually been on this one, but I do like the idea, the fact that they've put Snail Electric.
Sonic the Hedgehog's in there as well. They've
Like
got
Skate Electric.
I don't know if they
Snails is brilliant.
Yeah.
And then obviously then they had Sonic in it, and that really surprised me when I looked. Fortunately, I didn't go on it, but I looked at the paths, and it's great.
Sonic's in there because the soundtrack was designed and created by Sega. It was
really?
Yeah, it's interesting because Ella works for Sega, so I said that to her. I was doing a little bit of research, and I said, "Oh, Sega made the soundtrack for Toyland Tours." She didn't even know. So I guess that's the connection with Sonic Spinball as well. So I guess there has been something at Alton Towers, which
it's funny, Joe. Yeah, it's funny, Joe. It's funny you should mention that because when I was at school, there was obviously it was CD-ROM then, and there was this mass CD, and you had to get these questions right and stuff, and it was all to do with the ride then at Alton Towers. So it had Nemesis on there, it had Toyland Tours, it had I think the whole of what was that area where Dark Forest was?
Ugland.
Ugland. It had all of Ugland. It had Oblivion on there. It had the Black Hole on there.
And what was it? A Sega game?
No, it wasn't. No, basically it was a educational game that we had at school, and it was like a maths game. So you had to do these maths tests, and then it comes up with the ride itself.
Would you say that's
ride the ride in like a POV format as well? It was.
Would you say that's a con rather than a pro, Daryl? Because you got memories of schoolwork when you think about this.
Yeah, and there was some with Chessington as well.
David, did you have any thoughts on Toyland Tours?
Well, I've not ridden this one either, but I think I looked at these POVs and I kind of knew what the rides are now and where they are now, and I thought this is going to be a bit of a tough one because we're sort of describing two very similar rides. I think some of the theming in Toyland Tours is pretty good, and the way they've used the toys, the way they've got the Sonic sponsorship and stuff in it, that's quite good. I've got a feeling the music was quite catchy as well in Toyland Tours.
Yeah, they reused it for the first year of Carnival of Screams. They slowed it down and made it kind of disturbed.
Very cool.
And now I'm going to ask. I'll ask Sarah first because I think she'll have a lot of memories of this. Sarah, what are your thoughts on Toyland Tours?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, just from a theming perspective, which, as you all know, is my jam. Outside was obviously heavily themed to fit in with the entire land. So it was Land of Make Believe originally, and then it was Cred Street. So all the buildings surrounding Toyland Tours were themed in a similar way, even down to, I don't know how many people can remember this, but the where the Burger Kitchen is now. It used to be called Snack in a Box.
Yeah.
It was themed exactly the same. So the whole land was themed in a similar way, which epic. The song, obviously, a complete earworm. It's like the Smiley. You've got that in your head. It's there all day, which is actually a con as well as a pro. But the actual bits within the ride, I like the Bubbleworks bits, but this just seems more. There's more depth to it. So some of the Bubbleworks scenes were a bit sparse, whereas this is just like wherever you look, there's something, and there's lots of things to look at.
I know you shouldn't compare because it's totally opposite, but it's a bit like The Curse, where you go in and there's always something different that you spot out, sort of thing, isn't it? And it's Toyland Tours is, I'm assuming it is.
I don't know if Bubbleworks would be the same because you're spinning, so you'll miss stuff. But there was as much stuff in there.
I was going to say, in terms of re-rideability, obviously it's different from Bubbleworks because we've been around Toyland Tours. You look to the left, you look to the right. You've seen it all, but it's supposedly aimed at children anyway, isn't it? So I think small children would really enjoy it, and ours did, didn't they?
Yeah, either that or tired parents who want a quick sleep.
It's not got a unique ride vehicle. It's a boat. It was the same boat that was 180 days around the world. 80 days around the world, 180 days around the world. 80 days around the world, the same boat. I think it was the same boat they used for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And I think it's the same boat that they used for the London Dungeons.
Yeah.
So it's not a unique ride vehicle. It's similar to, It's a Small World. It's similar to Pirates of the Caribbean in terms of carrying people through. But I think it probably got through more crowds more quickly because it could carry more people.
Life as Emily's put, Toyland Tours is my childhood memory. Lovely.
What does James think? Because I'll ask James this because I know he's brought it up before about some rides we've talked about. But would you say it's a plus for Toyland Tours because it doesn't get you wet and in this climate?
Yeah, I mean, using the Gruffalo, you didn't get wet, did we?
Yeah, but we thought
Oh, you didn't get wet on the Gruffalo?
Yeah, we did the Gruffalo. So, so the Gruffalo had that part where you thought you were going to get wet, and then they shut it off, and it's all good. When I was watching the POV today, just to remind myself of the two rides, I must admit, when I saw Bubbleworks, I thought, actually, to me, Bubbleworks the scenes looked better. But when I rewatched Toyland Tours, I realised just how much extra there was in the actual setting and the theming of the ride inside the ride itself, and also just how much more complete the story was. It's a Toyland Tour, and as you're going through these different lands, these different parts of it, you were getting to see like Sonic with the Mega Drive back screen and whatever.
But Sonic wasn't always in there.
No, but he was added in, wasn't he? I do like Toyland Tours. I do like rides like this where you can have a rest and you can just sit down and have a quick breather and even have a little sleepy if it's long enough.
Little power nap.
Yeah, a little power nap. I do like Toyland, but Bubbleworks is also vying for it. Before we came on, I generally thought I know exactly which way I was going to go on this one. And then having seen the POVs and having heard people talk about both of them, I'm not sure yet.
Has anyone... I'll ask and then people can chime in if they want. Is anyone on the... Well, do you want to say something?
I was going to say that they're both equally good because I'm just thinking, like, if you're a child... They're both relatable. Like everyone's into toys at that age, and then everyone obviously there's bath time, and bath time's fun with Bubbleworks as well. So it's like I'm thinking by the Imperial Leather version because that's the one that I know. But they're both quite relatable to like obviously children as well as adults. So it's like it's quite a close one. This one I think. But
I'll let people in the live chat say some stuff if they want to try and convince us. But before they're doing that, has anyone got anything, good or bad, they want to say to the rest of the panel before we get to the vote?
I can sing something relating to what I used to do.
Oh, here we go. Crimes against humanity, Dan.
You better get your disclaimer up, Mike.
Yeah, I don't endorse anything Daryl says if he is causing mischief.
Well, it goes like this. Rock the boat, don't rock the boat, baby. Don't rock the boat, don't push the
Copyright
boat
strike now.
over.
Have you got anything to say about the ride, though, Daryl? Either ride?
I got to say, what this Toyland Tours?
Yeah, we can say something about Bubbleworks if you want.
Oh, Life is Ending. Remember Carnival
Both are really
Extremes.
good. Both have fantastic theming and things. And
Yeah,
I do think, though, that Bubbleworks was showing its age, though, when I did ride it before it went to Gruffalo. I'd noticed a lot of the theming was not working and things like that.
It always smelled nice, though, didn't it? Like soap.
I used to love the smell in
It did
Bubbleworks.
a lot of the time,
I used
yeah.
to love that smell.
Did it smell like a lush shop?
No, it wasn't quite that overpowering. It was like I don't know. It was quite subtle, sort of soapy smell, but
it was before smell pods existed, though, wasn't it? If I
I
remember.
don't know how they created that smell. It was like consistent. It wasn't like some days it would be like rubbish. It was always pretty strong. I think for me, even if I put the nostalgia factor aside, I just think Bubbleworks is so much more of a unique experience with the ride vehicles, the little tubs that sort of spin, and just I love the sort of boat rides as well. You know, Pirates of the Caribbean. I love the fact that you can just go in and it's a bit of a rest. And, you know, if the soundtrack's not too annoying, like something like It's a Small World, you can just sort of just relax and unwind. But for me, Bubbleworks is so much more unique, I think.
Yeah. I reckon that this week. Last week was a battle of two bad rides. This week is a battle of two good rides.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, James. I totally agree with you.
Got any last words, David, before we start?
No, I mean, last week was a very easy decision for me to vote Darren Brown out, but this one's a bit tougher, to be honest. They're both quite.
What did you want to say before?
There's some people in the chat. Thank you for commenting, by the way. Obviously, don't forget to like us as well. But it's absolutely amazing to see this many people on. We've got some people that said they've never ridden both of them either, so it's quite interesting. But then some people have got memories of one ride rather than the other. Ben and Holly's Theme Park Adventure says got to be Toyland Tours for them. Never got the chance to ride Bubbleworks. Looked cool. Do love the Gruffalo, but have so many fond memories of Toyland.
I just want to put this disclaimer out there.
Exactly what I was thinking.
People on the panel are allowed to vote for one that they've not ridden.
You are welcome to, yes.
If they'd rather that one came back.
I think it'd be good if they bought one of them back. It would be good if they mashed them up and had the ride vehicles from a certain one in the theming, etc., of another one.
Yeah, I agree, because I really do think the theming in Toyland Tours and the amount of effort that was put into it is a lot better than Bubbleworks.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
Can I mention about the poll that I did on my social media?
Yeah, you can do if you want quickly.
So I quickly did a poll like the day before, and I think it was 58% voted Bubbleworks.
Ooh,
it's so close this, and then the percentage obviously voted Toyland Tours. So thank you for everyone that contributed to putting in the polls as well.
I'm trying to be a bit different. I don't vote yet, but I'm just talking to everyone on the panel. David hasn't gone first yet when we voted, has he?
No,
I
don't think so.
So what I might do is I'll go around anti-clockwise so we finish with James and Sarah. So I'll let David, if you want to talk us through your decision and which one you're going to vote for.
Okay. Like I say, last week was a very easy decision. This week's a lot tougher. But Toyland Tours, I think it does have quite a lot of theming. I think it's potentially better than what you've got there now in the Dungeons boat ride. It hasn't got the fountain effect that Bubbleworks has got, or probably the smells. But I can see why both of them closed. It's a tough one. But I do remember when Bubbleworks closed, there was quite a lot of opinion about why it should have stayed open and IPs taking over. And to me, I think I'm going to edge with Bubbleworks, but it's a very tough call.
Yeah.
There's
We
not
shall
much in it.
see.
I wasn't sure where he was going to go there because he went Toyland was good, and then he said Bubbleworks
Good
was
choice,
good, and then I
but
didn't know.
we'll see what everyone else
Very,
votes. as well.
very
Daryl.
tense, David. I like that.
A good reason there, though, David.
Is Daryl still with us, or is he frozen?
I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm not going.
Daryl, do you want to talk us through both rides and which one you've chosen and why?
Yeah. So again, very similar to what David was saying. Two fantastic rides. Obviously, Bubbleworks when that closed, a lot of people were asking why didn't it just stay as it was, just refurb it really. And same with Toyland Tours. Why did that close really? Why was it replaced with another IP? That kind of thing could have been rethemed and refurbished and so on. But for me, this is one of the most easiest decisions I've ever had to make. Actually, one of the most easiest decisions I've had to make. And as I said earlier, I wish it was still here today. As much as I like Bubbleworks, along with the hose, messing with the hose.
No, don't bring that up again.
But for me, it has got to be Toyland Tours.
I just want to mention before I ask Joe what he thinks. We went to Alton Towers on Saturday, and everyone in our car on the curse clapped when we saw the dark. All five of us just clapped.
We did.
If anyone knows me, I always try and clap at the end of Hex and at the end of Wickerman's pre-show to see how many people I can get to join me. But all right, the Wickerman pre-show.
I like that idea.
Are you one of the sort of people that claps at the end of a flight as well?
It's funny you say that. Our friend from Scare Seekers was with us, James, and every time I did it, he turned to me with this look on his face like, "We're not on a plane."
He actually said that as well. He said, "Wait, we're not on a plane. We're at a theme park, not on a plane."
Joe, do you want to
Joe,
talk us
I
through?
wondered where you were going with that because when you said clapped in a bit, I heard the F. I thought you could say funeral. I say, wow.
Jesus.
So it's a change of turn of events.
That's a bit like last week when David thought our catchphrase was "See you on the other side." No, do you want to talk us through your decision?
Yeah, it's fairly easy for me just because this was like the ride before I started getting into like big thrills and stuff. This was the ride that used to pull me to wanting to go to theme parks, so it has to be Bubbleworks. It's a no-brainer. Toyland Tours looks incredible. Shame I never got to ride it. The soundtrack's awesome. I do think they maybe filled it up a bit more with more set pieces and whatnot. But yeah, it's got to be Bubbleworks for me.
What's funny is oh yeah, that as well. Daryl said the same thing. It was such an easy decision, but he went for the other one. That's what's so interesting. So, James and Sarah, who would like to go first?
I'm going first because I think it's no surprise that I'm going to go for Toyland Tours. Just because of the theming, not particularly even of the inside of the ride, it's the theming within the general area. It just pips Bubbleworks on that. I do think Bubbleworks has got the more unique ride vehicle, and I like the little drop and I like the fountains. But Toyland Tours has got it fits in better with the overall theme park.
Yeah.
Did you ever work on Toyland Tours?
I didn't know. It wasn't
Would you like to?
I never worked on there. No, because the girls that worked on there were nasty and horrible.
Oh.
I thought you were going to say the soundtrack would have got on your nerves.
No, they were the nastiest, cattiest girls in the world, so I'm glad I never worked on that.
How long ago was this?
30 years.
They won't be watching. They'll be... I just want to remind everyone at home that we're two apiece, so James is having the deciding vote.
We've got theme park guy that says Toyland Tours. We've got Life is Emily. I'll do it in interpretation, but yes, Daryl, go on, man.
So
I didn't see
the
that.
pressure's there.
I
Right.
didn't see
So
that, Stacey.
Pardon?
I didn't see that. The comment.
Yeah, Life is Emily. We briefly put it up. This is why I'll read them out aloud, just in case you guys have got small screens. But Life is Emily said, yes, Daryl lad. So, yeah.
So, James, you're going to break some people's hearts, whichever way you go.
I am.
We'll talk us through.
Daniel's
Okay.
in Bubbleworks.
So for me, I would have to see either of them. If someone said it's this one or that one, I'd be quite pleased. But the way that I come to my conclusion is both of these rides still exist now, don't they? Just different.
Yeah.
The one ride exists in the dungeon, and one ride is the Gruffalo.
It might be gone soon.
Say again?
It might be gone soon, though. They weren't doing the boat.
So the way that I've had to go with this, because listening to everybody, especially about the Bubbleworks and the ride vehicles, even from Sarah, made me think, actually, do you know what? That the Bubbleworks is actually quite unique out the two. But which one would I like to see back to remove what is there already? And actually, the Gruffalo's okay. So I actually vote Toyland Tours to remove the dungeon.
So can I just clarify what you're voting for there?
Toyland Tours.
Yeah.
Ooh. I wonder where he's going to go because he kept everyone on the edge of the seat. He's so good.
I genuinely thought it'd be cleanly Toyland Tours, but even with Sarah describing the stuff, I just wasn't sure.
So that's it.
This one hurts
Wow,
me. This one really hurts.
Sorry, Joe. If Bubbleworks had
Another
won,
one.
I would have been happy with that as well, being honest.
Yeah.
I'm really happy. I really am happy with that.
I did not.
Which one would you go for, Mike?
I would have gone.
Stop now.
I would have gone. Think after all that. Sometimes I go into this a lot of the time, and the discussion changes my mind. But I still go with Bubbleworks just for that last room. I didn't know about it the first time I went on it, and then when we got in it, it was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
It's just like some fever dream with these coloured lights and fountains. Would you vote?
I'd have gone Toyland Tours.
Yes.
Just because I think I'd have liked that more. I'd have been more engaged in it. Yes, it looked cool with the little fountains in Bubbleworks, but I think I would have really liked Toyland Tours more better. But
there's the bracket anyway. Ramses and Toyland have gone through, but next week's going to be a weird one. G-Force and Wild Mouse from Blackpool Pleasure Beach, which is
going to be interesting.
I have actually had someone in that we've got a competition going on. If people haven't entered it yet, I'll put a link in the description to win a mug and a hat. But all you've got to do is go to the link. I think you've got to like it, tag someone else on this Instagram link, and then either message us or comment on it, and it will get to us which ride you think is going to win. And when we do the final, everyone who voted for the one that actually wins will go into a draw. But someone has actually voted for G-Force.
What?
I was surprised.
No.
Someone out there who has put their faith in G-Force.
Oh,
I'm sorry if you're watching, but that is a strange choice.
Downhill's put G-Force is horrid.
Yeah, what a weird ride.
And then Holly's Theme Park Adventures has put Corkscrew has got this.
It's not going to affect how we vote later on, but I just want to say, Andy from Coasting with the Joneses has promised to go on Battle Galleons, wherever the weather is, if Corkscrew does not win the final.
Challenge.
But it might win.
Well, that puts pressure on Fleet not to win.
I just want to say something to Joe. Joe, the way you should have got me to vote for Bubbleworks was just to remind me that if Bubbleworks came back, the hoses would be there, and Daryl could then reach up and do what he used to do.
There you go.
You should have ripped whatever hoses are there now. They've probably got safety in place because he.
Yeah, I feel like that's a reason to not bring it back, to stop his reign of terror.
Oh, G-Force was.
Well,
she never existed.
Next week we'll find out
assembly.
what people want to vote for. But I'll just before we wrap up, I'll start with James and Sarah. Is there anything you want to promote and plug? We've got your links in the descriptions, all of you. But
yeah, we've got more stuff coming out. Sure, I can't remember you've done that much recently.
I know, I'm so behind.
Yeah.
We've got loads. Just keep watching.
Keep watching.
Keep watching. Yeah.
Joe, have you got?
Oh, we've been out the loop for so long, so we need to get back in it.
You got to get on Gruffalo.
I know. We need to go to Chessington. It's just down the road, and we haven't done Mandrill Mayhem yet. So, yeah, whenever I can find time. Started a new job recently, so it's been pretty full on. But yeah, once things have settled, we'll probably be going to Chessington as soon as possible.
Oh, congratulations as well with your new role.
Thought Park, Joe, you and Ella, because yesterday during the Mardi Gras event, we had a dancing mugger on stage.
A dancing what? A mother?
Mugger.
It's always interesting.
Oh, a
when-
mugger. A mugger? What, like
Mugger.
a
You,
criminal?
That's all
you
I've
told me
gotta
this
say.
story. Someone got on stage that wasn't meant to be on stage. Basically, it was stage invasion.
Oh, someone like.
I don't know if it was
Yeah,
Daryl
someone
now
walked
because
on
when I was
stage.
talking about all the
It
things
looked
he's
like
got
it
up
was
to.
like someone that called a mugger on GTA 5 online.
Oh, right. That's very Thorpe Park. That's very on brand for them.
You got
Hey,
to see the
David, is there
vlog,
anything you want to
honestly.
plug before Daryl tells us about his crimes?
No, I'll be going to Thorpe Park in a few weeks myself, but just see what this ghost train's about, see whether it's worse than the original version, but it can't get much worse, so
Yeah.
interesting to see.
Original
Yeah.
version got eliminated last week for everyone who didn't watch.
Yeah, it did.
Daryl, is there anything you want to plug? Some of these vlogs with the muggers and stuff?
Yeah, well, they're family friendly, so you don't need to worry about that. There's no silly behaviour apart from the mugger that appeared on stage yesterday.
Sure it wasn't you, Daryl.
Yeah, it was him.
No, it wasn't me. No, in fact, actually, I was with some of the dancers or performers that were performing at Thorpe Park last year. So, it was their day off, and they had gone to visit the event as well. And a lot of the actors at Thorpe Park already knew who I was anyway. So,
Yeah, he's got previous.
but yeah. So I've got my Alton Towers blog to be uploaded. I was going to upload it today, but I've just been so busy. It's just been.
Yeah, you told me it would go up on Sunday, so I said in the vlog, "I'll catch Attractions Ultimatum tomorrow at 7."
Yeah, I know. Honestly, it's been murder here today, as per usual. But both vlogs should be uploaded on Wednesday. My Alton Towers vlog and also my Thorpe Park vlog as well from yesterday.
Looking
And
forward
also,
to it.
we've got some different people on Thursday because Rocco has some health problems, which I don't think I should talk about in case
But
he wants
we
to get
hope-
private, but he's
we
told me
hope-
what they are.
We hope you make a swift recovery.
So Rocco's going to come on a later date, but I have got Food is Universal and Universal Orlando Food,
Ooh.
and their links in the description. And funny enough, Universal Orlando Food, they're both called Mike and Stacey as well.
Oh my gosh, no way.
Not too bad.
So they're going to tell us about food and everything at Universal because we talked about Disney a lot, so we'll talk about Universal.
Oh,
But,
nice.
Yeah, it's been great having you all on, and thanks for watching in the comments and stuff. I'll put all your links in the description, and I'll put, obviously, Theme Park James, but Theme Park Nation helped us with Bubbleworks photos this week.
And is it Theme Park James as well?
Theme Park James did Toyland Tours.
Yeah.
He's always done our photos before, but he didn't have any Bubbleworks, so I had to get some off Richard Smiler.
So thank you, Richard Smiler. Thank you, Theme Park James. Thank you to all our lovely guests as well
And
that are just surrounding us.
Next
which is
week, it's
amazing.
G-Force versus the Wild Mouse at Blackpool, and I don't know which one's going to win. I
Same
hope,
time again.
yeah, 7 p.m. Does Daryl? Do you know our catchphrase?
Did we film it actually? Alton Towers.
You know it.
I'm trying to think.
Joe, did you want to say it?
We'll see you in the rear view.
Because for now we're gone.
Because for now we're gone.
Yay!